After Sage died and the dust settled a little bit, I did end up going back in for my postpartum evaluation, and it was awful. The doctor cried, I cried the whole time, and after that, we decided that it would be in my and in our mutual best interest for me to not see her any longer as my provider. So I this is a little bit separate, but I had a very hard time even going back into an OB-GYN office. And I neglected that whole side of things completely after Sage died for many years. So when I got pregnant with this baby, I did not have an OB-GYN. I did not have a practice. I had been bouncing around. So when I found out I was pregnant, I had no idea who to call or what to do. So we messaged our son's neurointerventional radiologist, this doctor that we're very in awe of and in gratitude to, and just said, what do we do? So he actually directed us to a doctor at Brigham that he works with. I guess they do research together. She specifically she's the head of the MFM practice and deals with AVMs and brain abnormalities. So from the very beginning, there was a very serious tone. It wasn't, congrats, you're pregnant. It's more of like, okay, this is who you need to go see. This is how it's going to start. We're going to get you right in, and we're going to go. Just because Sage's condition was so severe, and because we did not have any evidence of it or knowledge of it in my pregnancy with him. So the doctor that I met with is incredible. The team that we see at Brigham is incredible. I fall into a bizarre category of being high risk, but actually being quite healthy. So there was a level of seriousness at first. We were told that we needed to get genetic testing done, which of course my husband and I were in complete agreement with. And based off of the severity of what happened to Sage, the first conversation we had with our doctor was that if there is evidence of a genetic mutation, similar to what we know that I carry, that terminating would be in our best, our best kind of option. Sage's condition was so rare, just unfathomably rare, that every provider we meet with says, like, it's almost impossible for this to happen again. But when you're pregnant and you literally have, we're told that over and over and over throughout your child's life, and they just defied in the worst way what those odds and expectations were, that type of kind of language doesn't comfort or soothe. So being in the high risk practice, you go in, you look around, you see a lot of other moms, and you wonder who they are and what their story is and what's going on with them and their babies. A lot of the people that I interact with will see that, my second child born with a cranial AVM or intracranial AVM, and I think I shared this with you, but on every report that I receive and every test was, in the medical record, it always states demised at 3 months old. And that's at the top of every paper that I get when reporting back about what's going on with this baby. In terms of like the mental health support, the anxiety of just being in a hospital that is only a bridge away from children's, and discussing the very real, potential that we would need to be consulted at children's, or, potentially have to terminate, or there's a lot in the mix.